Hey everybody, it's Bryce Larson. I just wanted to post a quick video kind of summing up my thoughts on the backspin bolt test. This will be posted on YouTube, and obviously it'll be linked to other places. So it'll be tied into Gordon's as well as then hopefully the other forums. There's a long and spirited discussion going on M. Carter Brown right now. Well, it was dead for a while, it came back up, about this test. And there are a few people who are unconvinced by our results or think that we're biased. I just want to go through this and kind of lay out my position. You guys can decide if I'm biased or not. I'm not trying to create a name for myself here as far as internet fame or anything like that. I want to do these tests because I'm interested in them, and hopefully other people are as well. Based on the number of people involved in the conversations on the forums, people are interested in them, and that's good. I know that if we're ruffling some people's feathers, at least we're addressing an interesting topic. If nobody gets upset or nobody has any spirited input on what we're testing, we should probably be testing something more interesting. If it's so boring that everybody agrees that it's all fantastic, then there's probably no need to test it. Alright, what were we testing for? Specifically on our rig, the results that we were getting were impact points at range, which means to me that what we were doing is we were extrapolating that if it's impacting higher at 50 feet, it's going to be higher at 100 feet, etc., which means that you're going to be shooting further, or you're going to have a longer useful trajectory. Paintballs are going to go a certain distance. There's a great calculator online that I will link. I'll put the link to it up with the video, and it's got a really cool little Java application. Guy who knows physics way better than I do did this cool thing. You can apply spin and angle and velocity and shoot and see how far it'll go. Furthest I could get a paintball to go, regardless of spin or anything else, was about 300 feet. That sounds about right to me. I mean, I've played for 10 years and I've shot a lot of paintballs, some at extreme ranges. 300 feet sounds about right. At the maximum angle, at a 300 foot, 280 foot per second velocity, that sounds pretty good. You can reasonably expect to engage somebody with a paintball gun at about 120 feet with a standard paintball gun. Flatline, apex, etc. will give you some additional flat shooting before the drop-off happens, but once that drop-off happens and the paintball starts heading down, the maximum distance you can get that ball to go isn't that much different than a standard bolt. So let's say you're shooting a standard bolt at an angle like this to get your maximum distance. It's going to go up, going to start leveling out, and then it's going to come down. It's going to end up coming down pretty steeply because of the angle you shot it at. With a flat line or something that's going to put some significant backspin on it, shoot it at a little bit lower angle, because as that ball slows down, and you've all seen this backspin of the flat line hump that happens about 120, 130 feet out, that ball will fly flat for a while, and then as it slowed down and the spin hasn't slowed down as much, that ball will actually hook up a little bit, and you get that last lump right before the steep drop off at the end, because the deceleration of the ball is happening at exactly the same rate that the deceleration is happening on the regular ball, the non-spinning ball. So you might shoot your flat line at a slightly less trajectory, and then it's going to hook up a little bit and it's going to drop, but it's also going to be coming down at a pretty extreme angle on the end of its shot. So what does the flat line give you? It gives you that extra shot from where the standard ball would have had to be at an extreme angle, because that's hard to hit a guy with, because it's going to have to come down straight on top of him. So it extends that out a little bit. I think a reasonable assumption is that a flat line is going to give you another 50 feet of reasonable use, something along those lines. What claim were we testing with the Cooper T bolt? Let me read this to you. The claim that we were testing was this one. This is on a current ad posted July 3rd. I hope the guy sells. I'm not trying to stop him from selling. It's a want to sell thread on M. Carter Brown. He basically copied and pasted from the original claims when the Cooper T's were new. Quote, "The better bolt will add approximately 100 feet in range in the gun they are designed for. They are direct replacements. The undershot puts a severe backspin on the ball, so it flies like a golf ball. You get a flat line shot to the extreme range. You get more shots per tank because the velocity is lower, 260 to 270. You will not believe what this bolt does." So that claim is if you get 100 feet in range. Now, that's a little vague. You get 100 feet in usable range, 100 feet in maximum range. What does that mean? I'm going to assume that they mean you get 100 feet in usable range that you can aim pretty close to where the guy is and hit somewhere around him. So that's saying that on a regular bolt, let's say you can engage at 100, 120 feet. This is saying you can now extend that out and engage somebody at 200, 220 feet. That's a pretty major claim. That's 80 to 100% increase in usable range on the paintball. So we were testing to see if there was going to be something so significant that you could effectively double the useful range of a paintball gun. I don't think our test showed that there was anything that was that extreme. Let me go through our tests. First test, low resolution, obviously. Slats on the fence. We got like a 6-inch vertical resolution at 100 feet. We didn't see results there with the Cooper T-bolt. Does that mean there were no results? No, it meant that the results were so small that we considered them insignificant. Second rig, we had a resolution of 1 inch, approximately, at 50 feet. Here we did show an increased impact point at the same velocity. We took every shot between 265 and 280. Those are the ones that are on that paper you can go, or the document you can go look at. I'll link that to that as well. And it impacted 3 inches higher. If you extrapolate that out, 50 feet, 50 feet is 3 inches higher, 100 feet, 6 inches higher, 150 feet, 12 inches higher, you know, or 9 inches higher. Possibly significant. Does that mean that at 100 feet, you're going to get another 100 feet of fairly flat trajectory? I don't think it does. The ball is still decelerating at the same rate that the ball out of the standard barrel or standard bolt is. Just so everybody knows our rig, we tilted the gun back about 4 degrees to make sure that the ball would stay seated against the face of the bolt. We were concerned that with the need for the Cooper T to hit the ball specifically, we wanted to make sure that stayed tight. Like I said, we took many more shots than were there, especially on the large barrel, and with the Cooper T, they were extremely inconsistent. So we only took ones that had the velocity between 265 and 280. There were tons of outliers on the top and bottom. Impact points were all over the place for those. Average of all the bolts hit 9.82 inches above the 0 mark on our board because of the angle up. The Cooper T hit 13.25 inches above the 0, so there was a statistically significant increase in impact point. Does that give you the 100 feet that the Cooper T bolt claims? That seems suspect to me. And in the overboard barrel, we saw no statistically significant difference. Not only that, but there were actually no difference. I mean, the numbers are within a couple hundredths of an inch. So the Cooper T-bolt, in one case, did shoot higher. Now, we may be able to do a test where we're going to shoot it through a bunch of different barrels and see if we can get a better performance than that. But I don't know. Anyway, I just wanted to post this video. It kind of sums up what I'm thinking about this. Hopefully, you know, having the conversation get a little heated is fine. It's actually really good for this. It means people are thinking about it. They're arguing about it, which means that they're trying to take a point and push it to see if it works. The place that it breaks down is when it becomes personal. I don't intend to make personal attacks. I made a dumb joke about dumping paint into a bush that you don't know somebody's there. That apparently set some people off, because from there on the conversation degraded on M. Carter Brown. I have no problem with flat lines with Apex. If people choose to use the Cooper T and they feel it makes them play better, great. If it actually does give them a significant benefit in play, cool. That's great. That's good for them. I don't think that it's enough to change the game radically. 100 feet of increased range. Don't think it's there. I think that there might be some increased range, 10, 20 feet. I don't think that you're going to be magically shooting, you know, under a fence and getting somebody when they can't hit you. I just don't think it's that significant. Anyway, I hope this video kind of wraps this conversation up. Like I said, we may be able to do some further testing. We're going to move on. Hopefully everybody's interested in what we're doing. Fire suggestions our way. We want to test anything. We don't care. We don't have any things. Obviously, Cocker Punk has some issues with smart parts. Those tests were designed specifically to disprove what smart parts claims. We're not trying to disprove anything. We're simply testing whether things work. We're going to increase the quality of our tests, and with suggestions and help from you guys, hopefully we can address some issues that are of interest to you. So, thanks for watching.
Sled through the scene until the engine stopped. Some suburban shopping mall. Sailed away on such separate trips, and she got bent down at the party pit. Sailed away on such separate trips, and she got bent down at the party pit. And I came back to start a band, of course. I saw her walking through the crystal court. She made a scene by the revolving doors. She's gonna walk around and drink some more. So we walked across that grain belt bridge into brand new Minneapolis. She said